Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chain Dog's Gaming Haven. Today I wanted to answer a question I had, which is, could you show the scale of the solar system inside of Minecraft? The answer to that is yes, and that's what we're going to do today. We're only going distance today, not size, because that would be way too much for one video. And let's jump into it. So first off, one block, about 25 million kilometers, which would put lovely Mercury at 2 blocks away from the sun. It's a beautiful planet, looks a lot like the moon because it doesn't have much atmosphere due to its closeness to the sun. Next up is Venus at about 4 blocks away from the sun. Also a beautiful planet, but in the sense that it has a bunch of volcanoes and other crazy things constantly erupting sulfur and all sorts of crazy things onto its surface. Not a great place to live, unlike the next place, at about 6 blocks from the sun, and the perfect place to sustain water and life and plants and everything we know is our lovely home, the Earth. It's crazy just how lucky, blessed we are to live in a place where we can thrive so well. Next up, at about 9 blocks from the sun, is Mars, which has a reddish color due to previously having water on it, which turned all of the metal on the surface into rust. Next up, in between Mars and the next planet, is the asteroid field. You know, asteroids, big rocks, traveling through space, hitting into things, or burning up in atmospheres. Next up, we have Jupiter. This one's at about 31 blocks away from the sun. It's one of my favorite planets personally, just because it's so huge, and because of that, you get all sorts of interesting things going on with storms that I believe the storms that happen on it, hurricanes, are about the size of Earth. I'll double check that, and editing Chain Dog will let you know if it's true. And it's just a crazy beautiful place that looks strangely like a beehive in Minecraft. Next up, we have Saturn, which is way out there at about 55 blocks, I believe it is. 56 blocks away from the sun. And let me just say that we're getting so far away from the sun and we've barely even started. There's so much walking left to do. It's crazy how huge the solar system is, but the main thing Saturn is known for is its beautiful rings, which are a bunch of little like rocks and ice and just random particles or dust that it picked up through space and trapped orbiting around it. Very beautiful thing. Here's a fun fact for you though while we walk to the next planet. Did you know all of the gas giants have rings around them? Saturn just happens to have the most visible one that you can see from a telescope, like a normal telescope you can buy from Earth, which is why they're so popular. And it's very interesting. Next up you have Uranus, a planet that I think we honestly don't know quite as much about, just because if you see here, it is so far away from Saturn, which Saturn is already so far away from the sun. Saturn was in the 56 blocks. This is getting up to about 113 blocks away from the sun. So we just doubled the distance we have from the sun. It's just crazy how far away this is. And it's crazy that we have the technology in order to see it from Earth, to have Voyager 1, Voyager 2 satellites traveling through space, actually be able to take pictures of it, which I will show on screen. It's a mostly frozen planet of things like water and methane and ammonia and just other random things that wouldn't be frozen on Earth, but it's just so cold out here because you can see the sun is getting progressively smaller and smaller and smaller as we go on. And here's a fun fact. We're going to talk a bit about Pluto. I'm sorry, I know Pluto is not actually a planet, it is a dwarf planet, but it's the most famous dwarf planet, and it's very interesting because all the planets like Earth, Neptune, Jupiter, Mars, those all have relatively normal orbits. There's some variance in distance, but nothing too crazy, but Pluto you see here, it's normally the farthest object away from the sun that we actually care about. No offense to random comets and asteroids that are beyond Pluto. But here, you see that on its closest approach to the sun, it's actually closer than Neptune, which is crazy. So back when Pluto was considered a planet, it was actually the second farthest at times than Neptune. The next planet we have is, of course, Neptune. And I think a big misconception people had with it was that they thought there was water on it when they first discovered it, because of the blue color, hence the name Neptune, who is one of the gods of water in mythology. But it's mainly frozen. Everything there is just frozen stuff or gas, just because that's what tends to happen when you get this crazy far away from the sun. It's so crazy because the next closest planet than Neptune, we can hardly even see it. And we have to keep going because next up we have the most loved dwarf planet of all time. I feel safe saying that. Way out here, keep on going, is Pluto. I have to say I had no idea what to do for the block here because it's just such a diverse color. But it's just so far away. This is the average. So this is about where Pluto will spend most of its time. So things like way down there and way up there where it's closer than Neptune to the sun, those are the extremes. This is the average where it's more like 10 blocks away. For context, we're about 235 blocks away from the sun. Earth is 6 blocks away from the sun. That is just such a huge distance. It's just insane. And then as we keep on going, we have one last quick visit to go, which isn't anything too exciting. It's pretty exciting though. Which is Pluto at its farthest distance from the sun. This is so crazy because due to how Minecraft works, you can see where Pluto is on average, but you can't even see Pluto when it's closest to the sun. It is so far away. Here we're at 292 blocks, almost 300 blocks away from the sun. That's so huge. And now, have you ever wondered what's beyond Pluto? Because obviously it's not like the solar system is like, let's have Neptune, and then let's have one exciting object beyond Neptune, and then let's have nothing. It's not like that. So if you'll draw your attention to behind me, you see that up here, stretching far, far away, are just tons and tons of comets, asteroids, things like that. So you know when the comet flies by, a lot of them come from beyond Pluto, and that's why it's so exciting, because some of them take like 70 years or things like that to come by Earth, so that's, some people will see it twice in their lifetime, and other ones, as you get farther and farther and farther out, will take thousands of years, or tens of thousands of years, to travel all the way to Earth. Which is insane, because these things are traveling so far that major events in Earth's history, things like agriculture, hadn't been invented last time that they came. And from our earliest calculations, some of these comets that visit Earth now and again haven't ever visited Earth before, or haven't since humans were around, which is so crazy. And just to show more in perspective how far we've come, we've gone about, I believe it's 1% of a light year. You'll have to double check me on that. But either way, we've gone so far away from the sun. Here we have to zoom in to really see it, otherwise it's just kind of a speck in the distance. And yet we're still so incredibly far away from a light year. And for context, the nearest star to us is 4 light years away. We're not even 1% of the way there. Space is so huge. And I'm gonna stop right there because I could ramble about that literally all day, and I don't think any of you want to hear that for too long. So with that, I'll leave you there, and I'll tell you a couple fun nerdy facts. I discovered that you could actually calculate how fast you're going. So another crazy thing is that the speed of light is so fast that if you were to go the speed of light, you would go around the whole Earth 3 times in a single second. And if we were traveling this much distance in the solar system, we would be going over 300 times the speed of light. It's crazy. It's just something we cannot comprehend how big this is. It's just so crazy. We live in such a cool world. We're born in the perfect time in history where there's so much to discover and so much that has been discovered. But with that, I'll leave you all to your day. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Make good choices, and please make the world a better place just by being you. And have a good day. Goodbye.